All right, you guys, and welcome to another episode of the Brothers Who Talk with Terry
and A.D. the pusher, the grower, the motivator. What up, y'all?
What happened to you? Well, I mean, listen. It's Friday.
Yes.
We're in we made it another week, and so I always ask, how your week went? How'd your week go this week?
Oh, it was interesting.
Yeah. That's an understatement of the year, I tell you.
Interesting to say the least.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It just was interesting. It was. Yeah. My children, they always make my weeks interesting. You know, my son, some shenanigans he's always pulling. So.
Yeah. That's why we're here, sir. We're gonna let the young man out. Because my kids are the same way. I have Javante. Of course, is 10, and then I have Zariah, who's 8.
Right.
And they are ultra petty to each other. It's constant war zone. But here's the thing with Javante is that Javante can't fight, right? I've been trying to teach him, but he ain't trying to listen to me. He was like, I don't need no help. All right. But your 8-year-old sister being here drop kicking you like it's okay. and you won't be petty to her, but he's always instigating her though, which is crazy.
Okay.
So I'm gonna need for you to quit it. I don't know what's going on. But anyway, all right. So you guys, this is another episode of the Conversation Show. That's not this show. We got another episode of the Brothers Who Talk.
Too many shows.
Those of you guys who are watching us on YouTube, if it's your first time in this particular podcast, this is actually our first video on YouTube.
Yeah.
So we do a couple of segments here at the podcast, and we're gonna go through those before we get into the meat of the matter. The reason why we're here. So the first thing we're gonna do is the news.
All right.
Now, in the news this week, we got a couple of things, right? I know we talked about T.I. and him causing a royal stink on the internet with going to see his daughter, a word about her particular health as far as her sexuality is concerned. Not her sexuality, but her sexual promiscuousness, I guess that's a word.
I guess, right.
Is a word.
The equipment to use the sexual promiscuousness.
I knew it was something like that, but then so he goes to the doctor.
Yes.
For those of you guys who don't know, he goes to the doctor and to make sure that his daughter's hymen is still intact. Before we say anything about that, though, those of you guys who are listening, you just heard my 2-year-old son, who's in the background right here, and he is just having a good time. He is awesomely autistic. TJ, who's on YouTube as well, so make sure you go ahead and subscribe to that channel. Nice segue, right? But,
that was good. That was real good.
But he's in the background, so it's just me and him. We're trying to record this while he's in the background. It's great. So yeah, he's going to the doctor with his daughter, who is 18, AD.
Wow.
Legally a young lady, legally a woman, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
18, and making sure that her hymen is still intact.
Right.
And we talked about this morning on brunching, and it was like, and the same thing we did when we recorded yesterday, or tried to record yesterday. Mr. T.I., Mr. Troubleman31 on Instagram, if you found out that her hymen was not intact, good sir, what are you gonna do? That's my question. What would you do if your daughter's hymen is not in fact intact? AD, if you went to the doctor and and your doctor told you that your daughter's hymen was not intact,
right,
what would you do? Yeah.
Think about it. I mean, like, it's already happened. So now it's just getting an understanding of the action that you're now taking. What are the consequences? We can get all into, is this a relationship? You should be married, things of that nature.
Yeah.
Which honestly, we as parents need to make sure that conversation happens before anyone wants to touch the hymen, wants to even look at the hymen. So it definitely needs to be a conversation we need to have early on, early on. But if it happens right then and we don't, or maybe we had the conversation and now, so it's just like, I think I might be hurt that you never told me or we never had a discussion about it. Because my goal for me personally as a parent is that my kids talk to me about just about everything.
Of course.
Because I won't. I would be naive to say they'll talk to me about every single thing.
Right.
There are things that's gonna happen, or they're gonna talk about with their friends that they won't talk to me about, which I understand. But at least most decisions that are life moving, big life decisions that they'll discuss with me, first.
Right.
So sorry about that. So definitely, it would be. I would probably be more saddened, that she didn't tell me if I didn't know. And then we just have to have a conversation. I don't think I'd be angry. I would just be sad that we didn't talk about it. I would want my child to wait till she's married. I know that's like a foreign thought, but that's what I would. I would like my child to wait and pick a single person to share that with that will be there forever. That's my goal. But
well, I don't know if it's a foreign thought. I mean, but the way society has got things set up,
right?
It would seem it's a foreign thought. You might be on something there. Because I remember when I was younger. I mean, that was my mom's thing. She was like, "I want you to wait until you are, are married." But of course, I didn't, and I waited until I was 15 to start having sex, and I was a father at 16. So. Yeah, but I kind of went and I blamed my mom and my dad for a minute because I never had the sex talk, I was out there winging it, and I got that first taste.
Right.
I didn't know what to do with it, so it was like, well, either I can make a mess or leave it where it is. That's got to parental guidance. That's what happened. So T.I., listen, Mr. T.I., please. I think also with T.I., I think it's a thing of control. He controls everything in his house. He controls everything in his circle.
Right.
And so this is just one more, I think, aspect of the control in his life. But that's just me, though. I could be wrong. All right. So moving on to a little bit of sports news. I just got this little bit of news. I am a huge Florida State fan. I think I've mentioned this to you before, but you're not a sports guy, so you really don't care. But it's just, but I'm a huge Florida State fan, and so the Florida State recently just fired Willie Taggart of 2 years. He's only been there for 2 years, and they fired him, and now there's a coaching vacancy at Florida State. Now, one of the candidates that's coming up, or that's in the talks of this head coaching position, they was thinking it was going to be Bob Stoops from Oklahoma, but he was on campus this week. But one of the emerging candidates that's coming up is none other than Deion Sanders.
Wow.
So Deion played there in his college days.
Right.
All-American. He was the man of Florida State. So now they're in talks, or there is whispers, as he's emerging as a top candidate for the vacancy at Florida State, which would be great. I would love to see Deion as a head coach. But I think a lot of people are saying that some of the best players are the worst coaches. So if you were a top player, if you were a top player, you suck. Yeah, you suck as a coach. And that's kind of what happened. So Tony Romo of the Cowboys will be an excellent coach. He's something to play. But that's just me. All right. Man. And so the last little bit of news, we're gonna talk about T.I. again. He's very upset with the folks over there at Newburgh down in Atlanta when Kanye West came down a month and a half ago. Took up a couple of offerings. He's very, very upset. He posted a picture on Instagram and if you guys don't follow him on Instagram, you should. He has pretty good stuff on there. But Troubleman31, shout out to T.I. And he put up a post of him, Tiny, 2 Chainz, and his daughter in the front row, and his face was like twisted up like a pretzel. I'm not sure what happened. I think it was another offer that was passed, and he didn't like it, and so he was very upset about that. And he posted and said that we need to discuss why my face looks like this expeditiously. So that's his famous word, expeditiously. He always use it. And so I don't know. He better leave Jamal Brown alone. You better leave them all alone. Leave them folks in New Birth is different. I'm telling you, it's a whole different culture over there.
I think, like based on the stories I've heard, it's kind of out of order. He came in a little later, and they raised a special offering. The preacher, I think his name is Hillard. He raised a special offering, and he actually put a number on it, and it just seemed very too timely, to them coming in. I think it called them out. So I think in that case, it might have been a little out of order.
A lot out of order, yeah.
So, and then I was listening to the podcast. He was talking to Killer Mike, and Killer Mike was there as well. He said, "Yeah, I was smart enough not to go up front." he said, "I went there back with the common folk." He said, "I went to the back with everybody."
Yeah, Killer Mike ain't playing that. He's not playing that, man. Killer Mike, he knows what it is, and then it's stereotypical, especially not just blacks, but in the black church. So it's always a stereotype. You're taking too many offerings. We here too long.
Right. Right. Oh, I got
what?
I think I tell them why you mad.
Tell them why you mad.
I'm about to call two audibles. I'm sneaking one on you, Terry. All right. So we just talked about the T.I. thing. So I'm adding, this might be a semi-new segment, the positive moments of men doing great things.
Okay, I like that.
So my lady, my girlfriend, my wife, she sent me a interview a guy did about, a girl was getting bullied.
Oh yeah, that's all.
And I sent to you. Yeah. The girl was getting bullied, and the father found out that it was his daughter bullying another little girl.
Yes.
So he was planning on taking his daughter out shopping, doing what he normally does for her, but instead of taking her out, he took out the girl that she was bullying. Yeah. Yes.
Dope.
And he did it, one, to show that, you don't just get things, automatically, because you're my daughter. He did it also because he's been bullied before and he knows how it feels. So he wanted to make the little girl feel better about herself, at least start the reconciliation process, like just to kind of take back what my daughter did to you. And of course, as a punishment for bullying another child, so
yep.
I think this really shows how men should stand up. It's not just about us, being hard, being tough, but really looking out for our community.
Yeah.
Looking out for the actions what our children do to other people, standing up and standing in the gap, because sometimes we take sides, but we need to stand in the middle and make sure our communities are straight. And real quick, and it's funny, my wife reminded me of something. She was like, back in the day, like say me and you would have a beef, right? And we got our friends there and it looked like it's about to get real ugly. Like old you would come in like, oh, whoa, young buck, whoa.
Yeah.
Who got the beef? It was like, me and you got the beef. They would clear out a space. They'd be like, you two square up. Let's go at it. They'll let us fight. Just y'all two.
Yeah.
Whatever happened, whatever goes down, this is the end of it.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like those kind of things have gone away.
Yeah.
We're not, our men, we as men, because I'm of course now taking the spot of the OGs.
Yeah.
We don't do that as much. We don't stand up and stand in between and kind of figure out how to make things work. What's unfortunate when it happens, sometimes it's mama against mama, they fighting and the kids fighting, and we as men don't really get involved like we should. So that's just a positive note. It's brothers who talk. Brothers, we just need to stand up. Things happen. We need to step in and stand up.
Yeah, that is absolute truth. So you guys that are watching this and listening to this, don't just take a negative connotation to everything.
Right.
Step up and be that light that you would want for your daughter or for your son even to be. So that's I like that. I like that segment. Positive. Hopefully we can find some every week to put on there. But positive.
We will definitely. We're gonna search it out. We're gonna definitely get it.
Yeah. So another thing that we talked about on brunching this morning, and I want to get into, this young lady who disciplined her son. If you watched that video? So it was a mother who went to the school of her son, who might have been 8 or 9, I think, and she publicly, and I had to send you the video after. I guess I had to send it after, but there was a video of the young lady cursing her son out, whipping her son literally with a belt on school property, you know, in front of his teachers, all that good stuff. And so the question that was posed was, okay, was it discipline or was it abuse? But I guess you haven't seen the video, so you really can't answer that. I mean, but if you remember back when we was coming up, if your mother came to the school and snatched you out the chair, you know, that was discipline. But now, in today's society, it's abuse, you know, and it's sad that she went above and beyond. She should have, if you watch the video, I'm gonna send it to you because it's in the brunch chat. If you look at the faces of the teachers that she did this in front of, they were absolutely mortified at the fact this woman was doing this to her son. And she was calling them all kind of niggas, and she was just being really obnoxious and loud to get that embarrassing factor, which is there's more than one way to skin a cat, especially with these kids nowadays. Right. So yeah, it was bad. It was bad, y'all. It was really bad. But I'm gonna post a video. I'm gonna show it to you. I'll send it to you, and then you'll be able to see it. And maybe next week we can talk about it. Yeah. All right. So that's all the news that I have this week. So, man, I tell you, watching that video pissed me all the way off. It really did. As a parent, it pissed me off because that's the way to handle that. But you know what else pisses me off?
What's that, brother?
It's always something that makes you mad.
Right.
So that video was one of those things for me. I'm going to ask you, AD, what's the thing that makes you mad?
Right. All right. This one y'all ain't going to be ready to hear, but why is it, right? I've been a part of and I've visited small churches. And sometimes they seem to stretch really long services. Like I've been in big churches that don't go as long.
Yeah.
Like, and listen, I'm not talking about when praise is happening. I'm not talking about when the Spirit is moving and people are going forward. And, you know, I'm not even talking about people that preach long. I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about you got 52 offerings. You got this singer, or you have this person giving an inspirational, another poem, another announcement, another this, another that, and I've seen it. And I seen one. The preacher spoke, and then they had an inspirational speaker after the main preacher.
You know what I would tell you to do? I know what you're talking about. Others, God, I used to go to a ministry before I left to come out here, and it was like a part-time job. I mean, we'd go in at 10 o'clock, and we wouldn't get out there to 3. Like, that's crazy talk. But I want you to go and watch. You know who Gary Owen is?
Yes.
Go watch Gary. Go ahead to YouTube, Gary Owen, Black Church.
Okay.
If you can pull that up, that'll be great. I don't know if you can pull it up or not, but that would be great. And he was like, it's 3 o'clock. I want to go home. You know, and I might have to find that audio and put it into this. That was hilarious. And
but yeah, that's what be making me mad. I mean, and like I said, let me be clear. I'm not coming up when the Spirit is moving.
Right.
I'm not even talking about the word. Those two things can go as long as need be. Because when certain people are preaching and the word is going forth, I can sit there all day like, oh man, that's good. That's good. And then they dropping more nuggets. That's good. That gets me through the week, gets me through the year. But I'm just talking about the extra. Oh, now we're going to have the praise dances. We're going to have the young people dance. Then we're going to have the adults dance. Then we're going to have the elderly dance. And then
then we're going to
do announcements. And then, like
crazy.
Word coming. I'll be back. Lunch.
All right, I'm going to head out. That's
I'm head out.
All right. So you talking about, now I'm going to tell you what pisses me. I'm going to tell you what makes me mad.
What makes you mad today? What got you mad?
I don't think it pissed me off, but it makes me mad. My wife, I hate that my wife can't make a decision like right away. Like we go to the restaurant, right? We go to the same restaurant. We go to the drive-thru. We frequent that place a lot. Man, she gets to the drive-thru every single time and says, "Can I have a minute, please?" Why? You know what's on the menu. You know on the menu it's been the same thing. Nothing changes. Now there are some restaurants like Culver's. Is one of those places that have certain things that come into in different seasons. So like and during the wintertime they had summertime they had the pot roast and mashed potatoes, something or another. Gotcha. But when it gets hot or when the seasons change, they bring in something else. It's like when you go to Dairy Queen, right? You go to Dairy Queen, they have the Butterfinger Blizzard at one season, then it's gone the next season. So it's kind of the same thing. But come on, for the most part,
right?
The premise is the menu doesn't change too much. So I hate it. We go to the restaurant, we go through the drive-thru, and she's like, "Can I have a minute?" McDonald's, the same double quarter cheeseburger, Big Mac, steak, all the same, hasn't changed. They're actually going to bring the McRib back, but not out here in Idaho. But so,
wow.
Yeah, the menu doesn't change. That makes me mad. I want her to be able to go and make a decision without having to say, "Can I get a minute?" You know what I'm saying? You'll need a minute. You'll need that. Get away from me.
Think about it. You gotta think about it.
You don't need that. Think about what? Come on. Can I get a McRib? Come on, get out of here with that, man. I don't know. I don't know. All right. Just like we said, so right there, you guys, I know that you watch this on YouTube, you are mad a lot, and you don't know. And sometimes you just can't vent or verbalize why you're upset. So you can do that in the comment section below. You can also email us. What makes you mad? Why? Tell us why you're mad. What are you mad about? All right. So we're gonna go into the next portion of this, and while we are here in YouTube land, AD, our goal and job, just like in our audio podcast on Anchor, we want to help the people. In your vocabulary.
Right.
Because some of us flunked English in high school. How I graduated, I have no idea.
Well, I throw my hand up for that. I don't know how I graduated. When I got my report card, I was like, "Oh snap! I passed.
Graduated, yeah.
I made it."
So what we want to do here at the Brothers Who Talk is we want to help our subscribers and listeners and viewers extend your vocabulary. So we have a section of this podcast what we call the word of the day. Now, with the word of the day, we're going to extend to you the words that we use. Sometimes they're serious words. Sometimes they are play on words. Sometimes we're like that cat meme, that's going around.
Oh, God.
That cat meme was something serious, I tell you. But we want to help you extend your vocabulary. So sometimes it's serious, sometimes it's funny. But today, I don't know what AD word is. I know mine's funny. AD, what's your word of the day, sir?
My word of the day is inhale. Like when you breathe in.
Breathe out.
Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Are you alive? Okay. Y'all remember that. Sesame Street. 1983. All right. So inhale. What does that mean? So I'm gonna break it down for you. I'm gonna break it down, put it in the sentence.
Come on, gotta hear it.
You ready?
Yeah.
I gotta get my country twang on it.
The twang.
Why in hell did I go to Walmart today? Why in hell did I go to Walmart today?
You know, AD, that's painful to listen to because you say you put my southern twang on it. So now those of you guys that don't know, AD is from upstate New York, right? So yeah, you can tell that in the twang in his throat. But he's from upstate New York. So when he say, anytime you listen to this podcast or view it, and he says, "After my southern twang on it," he's really serious about that. He really has to dig down in the.
I gotta dig down deep.
Down in the jungle deep.
Way deep.
But he's only been in Georgia. How long you been in Georgia, AD?
5 years.
5 years. So I mean, he ain't been that long enough to get the accent yet. But
right. Not yet. Mm-hmm.
Inhale. Y-N-D-hale. Now, did you split it though?
No, it's inhale, like breathing.
Oh, that makes sense.
Got it?
That makes sense. I got you now. I'm on it. My boy. Besides getting the video. Go ahead.
That was good.
Real quick.
That's good arm on that. You said, like, here we go.
So, my word of the day is dimension. Dimension. So I'm gonna help you guys out with that. Okay?
Break it down.
Not just in this dimension, in this quadrant, in this space, galaxy, whatever. Dimension. Right. Here we go. Ready?
Right.
Dimension. My girl can twerk and cook. Not dimension. She can drive a manual transmission. I'm just saying that I like.
Oh, that's a good break. That's how you break it.
She can cook, twerk, and drive a fly speed. That's dope.
Not
right?
dimension. Not dimension. We got to do the podcast today.
I'm telling you, it's been recording this podcast has been
it's like take three, guys.
It is really take three. So if you guys are using Zencaster, they are a great program. Make sure if you're using that, use it with just one person. Don't use it with any more than one, and you can catch what they call audio drift. That thing hurt. Well, I promise you. It's heck to edit. You can't edit audio drift out. But anyways, that's my word of the day.
Yes.
So right here, you guys, we're going to take a pause for the cause because we gotta pay bills too, just like anybody else. So hang tight with us. We'll be right back. All right, and welcome back. All right, so now we're gonna get into the meat of the podcast. This is the reason why you guys are here, watching and viewing and listening and all that. We appreciate you here at the Buzz Who Talk. So. AD, this is it. This is pretty much his topic today. So we're gonna give AD the floor. He's gonna tell us what we're gonna talk about today. AD.
All right. So today's topic is, why do you feel that God chooses your mate? Do you feel that God chooses your mate, or can God choose your mate? So this has kind of been a topic I've been thinking about for a while, and I'm doing some research. Looking on YouTube, and of course. Everybody has something to say about this topic. And then even those have their own personal testimonies. They feel like God spoke to them and showed them their mate, and that was the one who it should be, right? My opinion on it. So I express that it's my opinion. That, God has given us free will. We know that's biblical. He's given us free will. He doesn't make us love him. So our love or designation for somebody else is based on us more than him. And I say that because God has given you a promise, right? God's given you a focus, a purpose that you're going after, and you're designed for a reason. The Bible says man shouldn't be alone. And now, so I'm speaking from a male perspective, and the woman that you get in your life is like your helpmeet, right? So one of the things the one thing about finding a mate is, what is your purpose for having a mate? And once you figure out your purpose for having a mate, that's how you seek out a mate. And what I mean, so whatever vision God has given you, you're trying to find somebody that can coincide with whatever you're trying to build. Because the last thing you need is to get with somebody that's going to hinder what you're trying to get to. So in seeking our mate, we're asking God to put us in the place to find somebody that can connect with us to get us to our destiny. Now, the problem that I won't say all, but a lot of us have is the fact that we find a mate and we try to fit it into wherever we're trying to go. You understand what I'm saying? So you're like, well, doesn't God find that for you? Not necessarily, but if you seek him, right? And you'll have the eyes, if you know what you want, because that's the problem. We don't know what we want.
Right.
Until we get somebody, then we figure out, this is what I don't want. I need more such and such. And by then, I won't say it's too late, but it becomes a little more of a challenge in our relationship.
Right.
So with that being said, knowing what you want is key. That's the fact. That's the main thing. Knowing exactly what you want as far as a mate, and knowing where you're going, because you got to know where you're going when choosing a mate. Right. We get into this thing so early. We're 16 or even 15, 14, get into these relationships, we're immature, we have no idea what we're doing. We're just kind of going after it for fun. But if you really get into it in a biblical sense, we should be seeking somebody out that will be a helpmeet for life. Like every connection that we're building is a helpmeet for life. Not just someone to play with, someone to just have fun with and do what we want to. It's all about connecting to someone that's going to get us to our destiny, right? And if you look at it in that perspective, then you still know that it's not necessarily God telling you who you get with, but just God giving you what you need to get to where you're going. And now you just have to find a partner that can coincide in this vision. So that's the key, knowing exactly what you want. Also, so I wrote some stuff down.
Of course you did.
What is your family plans? Do you want kids? And those things, like asking those questions, so you know that this person is compatible. And these things should be asked in the beginning, like the beginning, like the first meet, when you're like, oh, this person's cool. This may be the one. These are the questions you need to ask. And then someone that has the same belief, they're Christian. Like if they're not with the same belief, then you shouldn't be getting with them. Like real talk. Like I know that's tight, but it's right. Yeah. Like why would you be unequally yoked? Why would you mess with a Muslim and you're a Christian? Yeah. One, what does Christmas look like? What does Easter look like? Right. What does Ramadan look like?
Yeah. I mean, I was just going to say that. I just want to jump on that.
So what you think, Terry?
The unequally yoked. I mean, because there are so many people out here that's unequally yoked outside of religion. You know what I'm saying? It's only one thing to be unequally yoked religiously, but unequally yoked everywhere else in your thing, it's just not cool. Like you said in the beginning of your talk, there is that we have to know ourselves first. We have to be clear on ourselves first before we can even go to God to ask God to bring someone into our life. Or some people, because I was one of those guys, AD, for years and years and years. I was that guy that just wanted somebody in my life because it was just something to have. I didn't want to be alone. On those cold nights when I was staying in hotels, when I was, homeless, I wanted somebody in my life. But I was actually I was sleeping on my homeboy's floor on an air mattress once. And I was trying to still hit. I was still on Tinder, on POL, trying to
life. Right. What you doing?
So I had one young lady. I'll never forget it. Okay, son. Okay. So I had one young lady who was like, okay, well I'll come to visit you. Show me where you sleeping. I was like, okay. So I took a picture of my air mattress on the floor in the corner, and she was like, really? You just sent this picture to me? You know what I'm saying? One female was like that, and the other one was like, you know what? It's okay. We can go ahead and make it work. But she was ugly. But nonetheless, we don't go there. But it's okay. It really is okay. So you got to make sure that you are equally yoked. You have to know what you want. But that is the main issue. Is that people don't want to clean out their closet. People do not want to deal with the old them. They want to pick up from point H and forget about A through G. And forget about, is that right? H. Okay. Which I got it right. And so people don't want to pick up from A to whatever point. Right. Because that going back to point A is going to show them, hey, I wasn't that dude or that chick. Right. I wasn't who I needed to be. And let's forget about that. That's in the past. Right. But a lot of things in our past, good people that are watching and listening, is that a lot of the things in our past will have made us today. You know what I'm saying? And we want to dismiss the past because it's not relevant today. But whether you believe this or not, what happened in your past is relevant in your life now, because what the person that you are now is a direct result of what happened in your past. Right. right? So if you have trust issues, they came from the fact somebody did you wrong in your past. If you have mommy issues, that came from the fact your mama wasn't the person, or your dad wasn't the person, or whatever. But you, the person you are today is a direct result of what happened in your past. So don't dismiss your past. At the same time, take your past, use that, and make sure that we are getting to a place where we can clean ourselves up and we can be available for what God has for us.
Right.
Now, having said that, be very careful. And when you go to these, let me do a disclaimer. If you are in a church, what I'm going to say right now is probably controversial, but I'm going to say it anyway. I was in the ministry back in North Carolina, and we were led by an apostle. I'm not calling names because it's not what we do here. But he went through, and he would set up people, and there are people that are still married to this day that was in the ministry when I was there that are still married today, right? And I guess to part of that is a good thing. Some people, so don't say, can God pick? Because and you think that a man can pick, or a guy can pick someone to use to help you find a husband or a wife. Falsehood, can't happen. You know what I'm saying? I never believe that, but don't get in the ministry to where a man is saying to you, you should hook up with so and so, or God told me to tell you that's your husband. No, he didn't. I've never believed in that. I've always had an issue with that. So my listeners and also the viewers, don't get caught in that type of ministry to where someone's saying, I hear God in my spirit telling me that's your husband. I hear God telling me that's your wife.
Wait, was this happening in this ministry?
Yeah.
I mean, like, so Terry, you like on this side and somebody on this side?
Yeah, just completely.
Not even like somebody you with, like you came with, somebody you already got a connection with.
No, he was pulling. It's like he was pulling straws out of a hat.
Right.
Yeah, that's kind of. He's like, okay. He's like, okay, Brother Jonathan, your wife is Sister Sarah. It was like, it's just no, but you know, and what it was. I'm not gonna say it was cult-like. I'm not gonna say that.
Right. I got you.
It was definitely different. I never heard a man of God or a woman of God say before that,
right?
Sister so and so or brother so and so is your husband. God said, why would God tell you? You know what I'm saying? God will go to that person.
Right.
But I get, and in some people's defense though, is like, you know, some people won't never hear from God anyway because they won't clean themselves up. Well, if that's the case, God's not gonna bring them a husband or wife anyway because they ain't ready.
Or they'll get together and they won't stay together because they're not connected to God anyway.
Right. So you gotta have some kind of connection. That's why I'm telling you that verse in the Bible where it says, seek the kingdom of God for yourself. Because some people are just mean. They'll make you think that they're all for you, and they're really not. I got a friend of mine who is a minister, and she met this guy, and he came into her life like a tsunami. You know what I'm saying? Loved her, man of God, prayed, da.
Okay.
And then once and her mother and father are my pastor. I grew up in her church. We grew up together.
Okay.
And this guy came in. I guess he figured, let me go ahead and get in good with the pappy. Then I'm getting, he watched too many episodes. He watched Coming to America too many times. When he said, you get in with American Girl Pappy, you get in with her. Yes.
Right.
And so I think that's what happened. And so there was an incident that happened because I talked to her last week. And I said, hey, are you still with so-and-so? And she was like, no, that dude was crazy.
Oh. Wow.
I said, oh, all right then.
Okay,
I thought he was a man of God.
Right.
He faked that whole thing. So you gotta be careful. That's why you have to be in tune with self. You have to be in tune with self. or it's going to be a complete disaster. It'll be
Right.
complete and utter disaster.
Right.
So make sure that you're on point and all of that. Yeah, go ahead.
So if you're with somebody, because then folks start questioning like, I don't know if I choose the right help me or whatever.
Yeah.
So as a man, and I'm gonna always say this, right? If you with a crazy woman, my question to you is, what did you do? Because whatever you give a woman, she gives back to you.
Twice.
So, yeah, that's right. You give her a seed, she gets you a baby. You give her hell, she gonna give you triple hell. And not 3 times it on it.
Yeah.
Because you love a woman, you respect her, you give her everything, she'll give you back what you give to her in words, in deeds, and how you treat her. So treat your woman right, she'll treat you right. And I've seen this time and time again. I've rarely ever seen a crazy woman with a dude that's just been playing the straight. Now in public, it may look like, oh, he's straight, she crazy. No, right. It's just that she tired of hiding it and he's still fronting.
Yeah.
And I've seen that a lot. So know that whatever you give your woman, and I've been in that situation, I'm gonna keep it real. Like I push mine to like the limit.
Yeah.
And they're like, she's so mean to him.
Yeah.
She's so mean. And I'm like, it's me. I pushed her. I just constantly doing wrong. And then she was tired of hiding it. She was tired of fronting on it. So everybody started seeing the ugly side of Sam. So what you give is what you
that's not a great side. Y'all might want to check that out. No smoke.
No smoke. So silly. But so if you're like, I don't know if I'm with the right woman, it's what have you been giving her?
Yeah.
What have you been giving? You need to evaluate what you've been doing. You know, so that's what I have right there. So 1, evaluate what you've been doing, and what work have you given for your lady to do when it comes to the vision.
Yeah.
When it comes to going after the destiny. You know. She's there to help. If she has nothing to do, she's gonna find work to do. That's why women start their own businesses. Right. Because the man ain't doing anything.
Fact. You know, and I'm hoping that everybody who's listening and watching is catching what AD is putting down. Is that so? The main source to all of that, what he is saying is that there has to be communication. You have to talk about whatever it is that's going on in your life. What you can't do is shut down. I know a brother who was shut down. Just he going through a hailstorm. Right. I ain't talking about it. And so just because you talk about it doesn't make you any less masculine. It just makes you more available to get the help that you need. Right. So be able to learn how to communicate. Learn how to communicate.
That's it. But we appreciate you guys. Listen, on our first YouTube podcast.
Yeah. Let's see how this goes. It's okay.
Love it.
We're learning, you guys. This is our first time. We're learning. And hopefully when I do some little editing on here and put some stuff on it, it'll look a little bit better. So you guys, thank you for doing this one episode. Be here next week when we do episode 10. I'm excited about episode 10 for whatever reason, but episode 10. And so you guys have a great rest of your weekend.
Yes.
And we're going to see you guys next week. All right?
Yes.
Peace.
Thank you for watching and listening to the Brothers Who Talk. Brothers Who Talk with Terry and AD. Check us out again next week, where we bring you a steaming helping of common sense, laughs, and advice. We can be found on any podcasting platform, iTunes, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. We're also on milehighradio.com, Saturdays at 12 Eastern. See you there.